Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. We're joined by Steve, one of our patrons again. Oh, this time he's brought no orange twirls in. Slightly disappointed.
He hasn't been to Brighton.
No, he hasn't. Everton won, Tottenham won. One of maybe the worst, just the worst games of football I think I've ever been to in my life. Genuinely, the whole thing was absolutely shambolic. It was so bad. The whole day was so bad. And
slow day, wasn't it?
And obviously the injury to Andre Gomes was just it just didn't make it feel like it was a football match. It just felt like it was something else. It just felt like it was all a bit pointless. You know, when you see players on the pitch and the reactions, and even at full time, players just like strewn all over the pitch on their backs.
So you'd lost the cup final.
It was, wasn't it? Every one of them, though, and that just shows you how clearly how bad an injury it was.
As well.
Obviously, thoughts and prayers with son. It just shows you how bad it was, and it you know, to me, yesterday was just horrible, just a horrible day.
Game to forget, really, wasn't it? It was everything in the end. You wouldn't have minded if they would have blew the whistle when Gomes got injured.
Yeah. It was crap, wasn't it? It was like, apart from not losing, it was one of them games that everything just went wrong, didn't it?
Yeah.
As
well. And both teams were terrible. Referee was terrible. VAR was terrible.
Yeah.
The tackle, the injury rather, was terrible. It was just horrible, wasn't it? It's a horrible day, and one that you'd like to very quickly forget.
The only positive, they kept going until the end, I suppose. That's the only thing I'd probably say out the whole game.
Well, they didn't lose, that's the only positive.
Exactly,
I'm saying.
yeah.
They kept going. Could be debated, could be argued.
They got going.
I think,
in
the last 2 minutes, yeah. I think that the whole thing was, you're right, when the injury happened, you know, I think everybody just felt like getting up and walking out. You know, and at the end, it was weird that when the final whistle went, it was, I don't know, it was just a weird situation. Everyone sat on the floor and players. I thought it was great that every time one of our players went up to Atkinson to shake his hand, the crowd were booing. I thought that was brilliant. Because why you'd go anywhere near that man is beyond me. Just horrific referee.
So he's got previous, hasn't he?
We'll talk about just a bit.
We'll talk about him later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But I mean, let's talk about the injury first and Andre Gomes. I mean, just being in the ground, seeing the reaction of the players. You know, where I'm sitting in the garden seat, it's almost like straight onto it, so I don't really see it properly. All I see is, for me, all I see is Son come throwing a tackle in from behind. I didn't really see the collision with Aurier. I just seen the fact that Gomes fell, and then I just seen the reaction of all the players. And as soon as I seen the reaction, I just sat down in my seat. I knew exactly what had happened.
Yeah,
seen it before. Well, I've seen it firsthand with McCarthy, right in the Garden Street with Rondon. I mean, that was different. McCarthy basically kicked Rondon's leg that day, didn't he? Yeah. That was completely different. And obviously, you know, the Seamus Coleman one and the Oviedo ones were things we've seen on television. But just being in the ground was just really horrible and really surreal in those few moments. And it was clear that he was in, not only was it was a bad one, but he was clearly in, you know, a lot of distress, which obviously you would be.
I think you could feel it even in the stand when the collision happened. You just knew it was. Yeah, well,
as a section,
you could feel what actually happened yourself when you went, oh, like that.
I think footballers are. I think this has sort of been part of the reaction is they're all together in a way. It's their, you know, the players' union kind of thing. And when you see that reaction of that, it just makes it just made it 10 times worse for me.
Yeah.
Which is quite ironic because the amount of times they will happily cheat each other or feign injury or feign someone's done something bad to them does make a bit of a laughing stock of when things like when the truly bad things happen. But I watched it again last night, not properly. I just sort of like watched it like that. But it was when I watched it again and I watched the reaction of all the people sitting in the family enclosure, and that properly upset me because
the woman
when you're watching there's a woman and she's properly screaming. She's screaming.
Just seeing it on the way.
And then there's kids, and then there's a kid who's like that, and then his next reaction is to just basically have a go at, like, Son, because that's the only way he can get it out. And yeah, it was just really
nice,
it wasn't nice at all.
It wasn't. And I just think the tackle itself, originally I thought it was the second tackle which actually caused the blow, but obviously it was the Son one.
I don't really know.
It was weird, yeah.
People who've watched it again, properly watched it from a camera angle that shows it, have said that it's because he gets his foot stuck in the turf.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand, well, talking about the referee, and we'll talk about him in a little bit, but he goes to give the player a yellow card. In fact, he does give him a yellow card. Gives him a yellow card. Then goes over, has a look at the injury and gives him a red card, which is just baffling in itself. This is the fellow last week who couldn't wait to book Zaha for diving, and the VAR overturned it.
Yeah.
And then afterwards you hear that Seamus Coleman's come out and gone inside to console and I don't get that, mate. I just don't get that. There's been a big reaction to this on Twitter. A lot of people think like me, and a lot of people don't. And the funny thing was, a lot of people were saying to me on Twitter, well, not saying to me, telling me on Twitter that I obviously had never played football before. I mean, I'm 40 and I'm still playing football, so make that of it what you will. But me and Baz were talking about this. We came in before, and we've both played football.
Yeah.
Baz played a lot higher standard than I have. But if someone does something to you, which Gomes done, he put his arm out to block Son's, just that he's smaller and he's caught his arm. When Son comes after him, to me, that's red mist. That's red mist. He's gone for him there. And if you got, this is what I can't fathom how people think about things. If you go to do someone, you've gone to do them.
Yeah.
If the consequences are that person breaks their leg, then that's on you.
Yeah.
That's on you. That's the way I think about it.
Totally
Now
agree.
it might be the fact that he's got his foot stuck or Aurier's come in and caught him, but that's on Son as far as I'm concerned, because he's gone. If he's not going to, what's Son trying to do? Can you tell me what Son's trying to do there, Baz? He's trying to win the ball.
He's leaving one on him. He's not trying to break his leg. Obviously, he hasn't, and I think that's what people misinterpret when you
100%.
say he's run after him in sense, kicking him. I'd suggest people who don't think he ran after him to kick him haven't played football, and if they're saying that you don't understand if you do.
He's just going to try and volley him, basically.
He's gone because he caught him. I think he caught him in the face.
Yeah, he did.
His arm.
And
he had the cob on. He ran after him first. He couldn't get near him. Then he hit the ball, come back, and Gomes, a few seconds later, made that action, didn't he, where he runs on the outside. And Son runs after him, and he just tries to stick him. He wanted to trip him. He was going to take the booking because he wanted to leave one on him.
Because seeing pictures of his actual face when he's gone to make the tackle,
and
it's a face I've made when I've been on a football pitch where you've lost the ball, like that.
Yeah, you're angry.
And he's done exactly the same. And you know what? Like you said, he didn't break his leg. No. No one's saying that. Everyone's just saying he contributed towards it.
He's caused it. He's made them lose balance. If he lets him run on and Aurier comes in and smashes him. Aurier, I mean, at the time, right, I didn't even see Aurier. I was looking at Son because I knew what was coming. I seen Son steaming after him, and I knew he was going to do him because he could tell he had the cob on.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Then he went into, because I'm on the opposite side and the upper Bullens from the halfway line, and he was in front of their bench. Because there was players in the way, I just seen him go down. Knew he'd caught him because everyone jumped up because you could see what was coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Anyone on the side, and probably you from behind, you could see what was coming.
All I could see from behind the goal was Son jumping in and Gomes going down. So we immediately reacted like he's gone for him because he had.
Everyone knew.
That's the point, isn't it?
That's what's bizarre.
Like, so I've had loads of people go, oh, how many times did that happen in a game? Or it's a clever foul doing that. That's fine. I understand that. I appreciate it.
A clever foul is flicking his ankles.
Or grab an old
run after
or go like that, pulling him back.
Throwing a challenge in.
The funny thing is, my missus said to me straight away, she went, hang on, isn't tackling from behind a straight red anyway? Isn't that supposed to be outlawed in the game?
Yeah.
Now, and this is what I just don't get. Why would you console somebody? Or why should you feel sorry? Why should I feel sorry for someone when you've done something to break one of our players' legs that I know now I'm not going to see for a year, and I don't know whether I'll ever see the same player again.
I was, the Coleman thing is mad for me, but the flip side to it is if you take your fans' head off, and you just said it right at the start, the way the players are all in it together.
Yeah.
Coleman's had it done to him. and all of that. We can't, no matter what we do,
No.
we can't put ourselves... And listen, this is coming from me, who's broke my leg,
No,
and had my leg broken in a game of footy because I just scored a Tony Yeboah goal. Scored a cracker, so the next tackle, the lad done me from the side and then stamped on me when I was on the floor, and that was me out for 6 months.
If Coleman wants to do that, that's up to him. But it doesn't mean I have to feel sorry.
No,
for son.
I'm just saying.
Well, here's one, right? So I'm watching it last night, or I can't remember when I'm watching it, and the comment, and also I was watching the highlights it was on Match of the Day, and someone said about Aurier, and he went, Aurier was so distressed that he had to go off. Well, if he was so distressed, he didn't go off. Why was he trying to time waste? If he was so distraught about going off, why was he time wasting going off the pitch?
He didn't go off because he was distraught.
Exactly. The ref had to go over and tell him to get off the pitch. Yeah. He never went off to the closest side. He just went like that. If he was that distraught, then he would have just gone
off. Well, if he was that distraught, he'd have gone off the minute it happened, and he didn't. So
and he would have run off the pitch. He would have run off the pitch.
Absolutely not.
He should have been sent off, in my opinion, with Son as well.
Well, Howard Webb, whether you like him, hate him, whatever, Mark Clattenburg has come out today and said it was a red card for Son and it was a red card for Aurier. And he said the referee's bottled it because he should have sent the pair of them off. That's a referee. Now, like you say, I haven't watched it again because I don't feel I have to. I've seen it at the time.
I don't think there's an angle of it, you know.
No, well, I don't want to see
it. Sky had like this. Sky almost like, it's weird, it's like Sky almost knew what was coming because they had this dead far back angle. They didn't, it was never close up.
Well, NBC, obviously I've got them all in front of me. They just stopped it before you seen anything and all that. But like you say, at the time, the tackle coming, we jumped up, and then I seen the reaction of the player and said he broke his leg. And people were like, no, and I was going, honestly, you can tell. But and then the players were going over, and Luca Dean, and even Dele Alli come over by me, and he was hugging. I think he was him and Tom Davis had their heads in each other's thing, like, you know, because obviously they'd seen it. It was horrific, and it's not what, you know, you don't want to see that for any player. You don't want to see it for one of your own. You don't want to see it for someone like Andre Gomes as well, who's on his day, he's our best midfield player. But to exonerate Son is nonsense, in my opinion. He ran after him, he's tried to do him. He hasn't tried to break his leg, so let's have it right. But he's tried to leave one on him. Everything after that, the minute you kick someone from behind and they're falling, everything after that is a consequence of what you've done. The Premier League wouldn't give Everton last week's fucking echo. Let's have it right. And yet they've come out today and said the red card will stand because he endangered an opponent. That's why.
There's talk of Tottenham appealing.
Well, they are trying to appeal, but that's, you know, they're gone, aren't they? Because they'll probably, you know, but they'll probably feel like he hasn't done. You know what I mean? That's up to them. They've got it on them.
Oh, mockery. The whole thing's a mockery. But I don't know I don't know whether someone in the ears told him to give him the red card. I don't know whether. It just makes him.
Well, what's berserk is he gave me a yellow card. So if he thought it was a yellow card, then the
injuries definitely changed.
So really, the yellow card should have stood if that's what he thought. He should have given himself a minute to have a look, and then he wouldn't have.
The injuries changed his mind.
Well, yeah,
definitely.
But can it? Should it? I suppose that's what Spurs are like.
Yeah,
they might go, well, all right, but should it? I don't know.
Isn't that though what he's been sent off for though? He's been I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm not saying he should.
No, I heard that on the radio on the way home, and I seen it last night on Match of the Day. And people were saying should the injury matter? And I was like, yes, the injury should matter because actually the thing he's been sent off for is because of the injury. Now people go, well, what happens if you do this and it means that the person does that? And it's like, well, it's a red card then. If you've done, it's cause. Said this on one of my videos.
The word is very clear.
It's cause and effect. If you cause someone to get a bad injury, then you should suffer the consequences to it. Rules have been changed in the past. Remember Ben Thatcher's? There wasn't even a rule for that. But they decided that it was so bad that they had to come up with something. Because rules don't always fit something that happens. And sometimes you've got to make a rule because something is so bad. You have to create something new.
Endangering a player, wasn't it?
And that to me, that to me, I'm sure Son feels very, very bad about what happened. I'm sure he does. But I'm not going to waste any of my emotion on him. Mine always going to go for.
See, the way I look at it, right, is that the two things we've seen at Goodison in the last couple of years. Rondon, it was a pure accident. He swung his boot out to have a shot.
And even Bolasie was a pure accident, really.
Bolasie was, but what I mean is with the leg thing. Bolasie was mad because we didn't, I mean, it was a foul, but we didn't really know what had happened, did we, until we seen him get up. But McCarthy's one, Rondon, it was a collision, and Rondon was in tears immediately. He knew what had happened. You couldn't exonerate. You couldn't, give him any portion of blame because McCarthy went in. So it's not like we're sitting here going, you break one of our players' legs, you scum, because it's happened. Things will happen, and you go, it's sickening and it's frustrating, but you can't do anything about it. And while Son, quite like I said before, quite clearly didn't try to break his leg, he's put him in danger by running after him with the cob on and throwing that tackle in. If he hadn't done that with Gomes, he doesn't run after him and throw that tackle. He might carry on running with him, actually, because he's quick.
Yeah.
But he threw his leg out because he wanted to get him back because he just caught him. He had the cob on anyway. He'd already dived. You know, we should have been booked for diving.
Yeah, he'd had a few decisions go against him.
He was starting to get a little bit, petulant.
Yeah.
He was moaning at the referee, throwing his arms up and all that. He had a cob on. He run after him. And he's caused Gomes to lose his footing. And he has landed awkwardly. And as he's landed, the impact, Aurier's jumped in, I believe.
Yeah.
Naughtily, but I don't know. I've not watched it again. This is just what Clattenburg said. He showed the studs and all. It's out of control. And as a result of it, we've got a lad lying in hospital having surgery today, and we won't see him for 12 months probably. So
that's what I mean. The whole feeling sorry for the person we should be feeling sorry for is Gomes. Nobody else. Not one other player.
No. And his teammates.
His teammates,
because they just witnessed something horrific as far as they're concerned.
And a few of the Spurs lads, they're just playing a game.
No.
You can't say, well, they're all a team, so you should. Because the people like Dele Alli was nowhere, even though, he looks like he should be on Love Island at the moment. He doesn't look like he's giving everything he's got. But some of their players who were on the other side had nothing to do with that. And they're seeing the leg and going, oh my God.
Well, Luca Dean's reaction was really interesting. He was having a go at the Spurs bench, wasn't he? For the medical team not helping. Like little things like that. It was a very bizarre incident. It was very, very heated.
Just a weird day.
It was horrible to see it though. It was like in the past though, a brawl would have broke out.
Oh yeah.
Under Moyes, I remember.
I've seen sites where Pickford and giving Son hugs. Honestly, I don't know what goes on anymore. I just wonder what this is football.
That's
now.
Modern football.
That is Bobby Modern.
There's no.
That wouldn't have happened.
Maybe it was so. You know what? Maybe it was so bad that you do forget about all the other stuff. It was so bad that just overrides any.
When you see something up close like that, you do just kind of. It puts something out. And listen, us as fans, you're incensed, but then 2 minutes later you feel sick.
Do you know what though?
So as a player and you're in that game, you
I felt sick as soon as I seen their reaction.
No, but I'm saying as a player, when you see that, you probably realise that at any moment that could happen to you.
But you know what though? Yeah. To be fair to the players, and all of the players who were on the pitch, they all reacted quite well to actually playing football. And we've gone on and grabbed the point. We kept going. And we've got the point. And it was a terrible game. Both teams didn't want to lose.
Yeah.
Very obvious.
Till after half an hour, I think.
And it's been a stupid mistake by Iwobi. That has led to the goal. Their first shot on target, their only shot on target, the entire game. Yeah. One mistake and it's let them back in. And we've obviously had to wait till last couple of minutes to get the goal. To get the equaliser.
He picked the team he picked. Was ironically the team I picked for me starting 11. So I seen that and was quite happy with the team. Happy Mina was fit. Happy he'd give Holgate a chance. With them two together, I was quite happy with the starting lineup. I thought, all right, fair play to him. He's trying to mix it up a bit. But we just.
Do you think it was a 4-3-3?
No.
I think what happened was
someone said I was playing a 4-3-3 and I was like
it was a
4-5-1.
4-5.
You know what happened?
What it was against.
Do you know what I think happened? Seriously, I think what he's done is he's looked at the sides and said, right, Iwobi can come in from the left. He'll tuck in from the left because you kept on seeing him wanting to come in. And what happened was they pushed their fullbacks so high, especially on Dean.
Yeah.
I mean that Davis was playing almost as like a wide forward in the first half. Yeah. Wilcock was coming back to right back basically. They pushed their fullback so high. Iwobi he couldn't go inside. No. He couldn't go. So all what happened was Iwobi. He's not a left winger. We'll talk about it in a minute. He's not a left winger, but that stopped us playing a lot of our wide stuff. And if you stop us from crossing, we're just not a dangerous team, are we? We've got very little about it.
Still had something like 20 crosses, I think, or something like that. They had 7, but we just I don't know with us. we've got a lot of talent in the team or the squad, but it doesn't. But they have, and they didn't play.
Do you think though, just coming out of it, just stepping away from the game and the emotion and everything, do you think that maybe that was the right thing to do then? To say we do not lose this game today. We lost this game 6-2 last season. You know, worst performance. Spurs' best performance, ironically. In fact, Spurs fan I was talking to last week said that's the best performance ever under Pochettino, that game against us last season. So, if you think about it like that, do you think that maybe he thought to the players, listen, Tottenham are a good side, look, they're not in good form, and you forget about the fact that Harry Kane wasn't playing, you didn't know that. You think, well, hang on, if we get a point against these, that's a good starting block to trying to get, in the last 4 games, including the League Cup, we've won 2, lost 1 and drawn 1. Do you think maybe if it had more of that mentality last week against Brighton, then you say, well, we got to, you know what I mean? Rather than losing games, you're starting to, and that's only our second draw of the season. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's better.
First one was day one, wasn't it?
It's better than losing a game, isn't it? It's better. You could come to the end of the season, you go, oh, we drew against Spurs. You're probably going to go, oh, or before the season, you go, we'll draw against Spurs. You go, all right, I'm all right with that. And
I think what we did, so the standard of Tottenham last season, we probably would have took that point. But I think when I was watching it yesterday, I just looked at Tottenham and thought, you're just as bad as us. It was like,
But then that's game plan, isn't it? But that's a game. What if we played brilliantly yesterday and we'd lost it through that mistake? Do you know what I mean? That you're coming out there. Think about this. I know what you're saying and all what was going to say. But I think to the City game and go, oh, we played well and we worked hard in that game. We got nothing out of it. We got nothing out of it. Yesterday, and I know City are a very good side. But what I'm saying is that it doesn't really matter at the moment. It doesn't matter who we play. We need to start accumulating points and we need to start being tougher to beat. Because I think what I mean by that is anyone if we got a new manager, let's just say, the first thing the new manager would say is we need to stop conceding goals and we need to start being harder to beat. Without saying anything about Marco Silva though, maybe Marco Silva is thinking to himself, well, if I start doing that, then that gives us the platform. If we stop losing games and stop conceding goals, then that gives us the platform to start winning games.
Yeah, he kind of made that point as well after the game when he mentioned Everton's record against Tottenham. Yeah. He mentioned like a few thrashings we'd had the last couple of seasons, last season, the season before. And he kind of mentioned that, saying, well, Everton's record against Tottenham, a 1-1, is better than the last couple of years type of thing. So, I don't know, I was disappointed with the point, but I can see what you're saying as well. Because if it was a good Tottenham team, I'd be like, great.
But it is a good Tottenham team, though. They're just shite at the moment. What I would say is, if you'd given Everton 3 chances yesterday and you'd given Tottenham 3 chances, I would still be more thinking that Tottenham would take the 3 chances, just because in the they've got Son, they've got Eriksen, they've got they had Lucas Moura, and I just think that they something mad's going to happen with happened with Tottenham. There's obviously rumours. I can't wait to watch the Amazon documentary. But if that's not hope, you can't. What I mean for it, I'm sort of on the manager's side in a way. You can't say before a game these are in bad form, so therefore you're going to beat them today. You've got to, from a manager's point of view, you've got to prepare for how they are at their best, not at their worst. If that makes sense.
That. Yeah. And also, I suppose it's like rectifying last week's demons in a way. The way they went and just lost the game, where like you've just said there, they've settled with what they've got, rather than. Like, don't know, we were trying to still win it at the end. We won probably another 5-10 minutes. We probably might have won the game. But
come on, Baz, I can see you want to jump in.
I just think that to me is playing the name. That team, I accept that at 4:25. But when the game starts and they show no ambition, they had a goal that we give away, and Ali took it well. Don't get me wrong, it was a great finish. Yeah. But we give them that chance. They didn't create anything else in the game, and yet we didn't do a thing. And it's again, I said it last week. These things in isolation, you go, yeah, that's sound. If we'd have beaten Sheffield United and won at Brighton, we'd go, you know what, decent point. That Spurs are dangerous. And listen, Tottenham are a better team than Everton. They are. They've proven it over the last few years, but they've lost 18 games this calendar year. Right? I watched them yesterday. They were terrible. They had no clue. They had no ambition to win the game. They were panicking on it, but they're normally slick and confident, the big, strong team. There was none of that there. It was just weird. They had 4 attempts at goal, Tottenham, in 102 minutes or whatever it was. I know, stop. But they've had 4 attempts at goal, and 2 of them were shots from about 50 yards. That went miles over. So
what you're saying is, it's the in-game management that is the issue.
Well, it's the players as well.
No, I'm talking about the whole thing, the in-game management.
The other night, we go on a match and Moyes Keane was up front and the Charlton and you were like, 4-3, a proper 4-3, great. We get to the game, it's 4-5-1. Yesterday, driving to the match, see the team, like, it's round. And people are like, real 4-3-3 today, eh? And you're like, well, it looks less of a 4-3-3 than it did the other night. And actually how it played out was a 4-5-1 again. So again, the Charleston's living off scraps. The only I mean, he had 4 shots yesterday, which is more than anyone else in the game. He had one really good one where Dean put it in the first half and he spun and
he was trying to make something happen, wasn't he?
He was, but he was on his own. Iwobi didn't play well. Walcott worked hard, but wasn't really. There was just one in early on where Pickford did a wonderful ball and he come in, he just couldn't quite get it under control.
I was saying the first half, like, how big the gap was from the Charleston to the midfield was just unbelievable.
This is what we're saying. So again, in isolation, those kind of things you look and go, we've done well. And you're right. For the last 4 games, we've only lost 1 game, and we shouldn't have lost it. But it's hard, isn't it? Because you're trying to look at it and go, well, we're looking for progression, and there isn't any. There's no way of playing. Everything changes week by week. I just thought yesterday it just looked like 2 very poor sides. Quite clearly not wanting to lose. Quite clearly both got no confidence whatsoever. But if you can't win them games against a team that's got no confidence, and listen, our record against Spurs is terrible. We haven't beat them since 2012 at home anyway, which is a joke.
No, Harry Kane as well.
Absolute joke.
Do you think though? Do you think this could be a catalyst? Scoring late on, equalising against Spurs after what had happened before. Do you think that could be a catalyst for maybe going forward? Seeing one of your own getting hurt like that, equalising, saving the game from another defeat. Do you think that could be just... Because we keep on talking about, like, I don't know, they keep on coming out and have these stupid rallying cries. But I think at the end of this game, you've seen people just actually wanting to win. What gets them out of the game, obviously, because something bad had happened. I don't know. I just think for me, it's got to be. I mean, we keep on looking for these turning points, but we've got 2 big games coming up now that really we need to get maximum points. And if we got maximum points, then things look so much different.
Oh yeah.
Things look massively different in the world. If we could win the next 2 games. I'm not saying we will or we should even, but if we did, things would look so much different. The season coming into the back end, coming into that tricky December. I say tricky, terrifying December is more the word.
Yeah.
Things look more like you've got that little bit of a, not gap, but just buffer, so you can, because this team just feels so tightly, it's like a coiled spring. It can't play well because of the pressure, and the players can't handle the pressure to play well. And it just feels like if we say it all the time, by hook or crook, we need to get wins, and we haven't been getting wins. So I don't know. It's just you just don't know with this team. That's the problem. It's just like when we were talking there about Moyes and stuff, and on those days, you knew if they had when we lost in the semi-final of the cup. The week after we went and beat Man City at home, that was the reaction. Yeah.
You just don't know whether this team's got the balls to go out and give you that reaction, because they've let us down that much already, and we're only 11 games in.
I know.
It's a really tough question to answer. It's just I'd love to think that they're all chomping at the bit to go for next week, but
you don't know, do you?
We just don't know. It's just we could go to Southampton and just crumble after 1 goal.
I suppose if you're looking for positives, then we went behind and we didn't lose the game. We've not done that brilliantly under Marco Silva. I think it's only the 4th or 5th time we've got something when we've gone behind under them in 26 games or whatever. So you can look at it like that. How much would we have come back without the injury to Gomes? We don't know. It was 70, 90 minutes when he done it, wasn't it? We weren't there.
It took the injury to get the crowd going as well.
But perversely, you're right. It could. We won't. The reality is we don't know.
Because we don't know, do we?
The West Ham game, we were all like, this could be the catalyst now, and we lost to a poor Brighton side that we played to. So I don't know is the answer. I look at it. There's no shape.
No.
But I mean, one of the plus points.
Yeah, one of the plus points is Tom Davies. I thought I think now when you look at that midfield, you've got to say he's got to stay in every week. Listen, we've talked him up since day one, and he's had his ups and his downs. But what he's never had is consistency, and that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. But I'll never have anyone telling me that he's not a good player. Right? I'll never have that. Never. I don't give a monkeys what anyone says. I just won't have that. And I think we're seeing a little bit more of a maturity now in his play. And obviously, as we go on and with players that where other players are either struggling or falling to the wayside through injuries, Tom for me has got to play. I've said before, he'd be my captain as well. But maybe he doesn't need that. Doesn't need that at the moment anyway.
Doesn't need the pressure.
Doesn't need that. He can just go out there, play his game, and get on with it. Let's just have a look at some of his numbers from yesterday. So successful dribbles, 3. Aerial duels 1, 2. Interceptions 1. I think it was tough for him yesterday. I was just talking about aerial duels 1 because he was up against like 2 big players, Sissoko and then Dembele. Big lads, strong. But I thought he held his own, and I thought what was good about yesterday was he was making decisive, quick decisions, getting out his feet. There was a lovely one. We did a lovely little Cruyff turn, and he was going one way and he just went the other way. And just giving that little bit of a yard that you need in the Premier League. You need to get yourself a yard straight away, and then you've got a little bit more time to play off that. So
confidence, isn't it, as well?
Looks like he's bulked up a bit, I think, as well.
Yeah. Touches 61, successful passes 40, successful forward passes 14, successful attack and third passes 9. And I'm sure if the Piv was here, I'm sure those bottom 2 would mean loads to him. Forward passes, of course. Successful attack and third passes, again, it's something we've bemoan the fact that our players in the middle of the park were getting the ball and passing it backwards or passing it sideways, and we've bemoaned the fact that I just wonder how successful attack and third passes. I wonder how that rates against someone like Sigurdsson's average, who's supposed to be our number 10.
Much better. I can tell you
exactly. Yeah. And
the pass to Walcott.
The pass to Walcott is a fantastic ball. And you know what? If you've got a centre forward who's up there and Walcott's just got a little you just think how good that goal if you play that in your head, you know what I mean? That's the kind of goal you see, like top sides, they're the kind of passes that when you see those tap-ins you go, that was fantastic, started all the way back there. And maybe if you're doing that more regularly and you see that or more regularly,
I said to Baz before, it was very Fabregas-esque pass when he just used to play those just like to Walcott when he was in Arsenal.
But it's the kind of, but also that's the kind of ball that if that gets cut out, you're not going. You go. Well, that would have been a great ball, and you've lost it at the left back position. They're the kind of ball, they're not safe, they're not side to side, back to the keeper. That's the kind of ball that does.
I mean, Theo probably could have got a shot in.
I thought he should have because
I didn't think there was anything on in the middle.
He was in behind the fullback, so he could have took it.
I think the problem with Walcott is, and again, this is why I think he should play on the left and not on the right, and maybe that could be something going forward, is if that falls from, and he is coming on his left, he bends that in with his right foot.
Yeah.
But I don't understand quite why he played the ball he played, because there was no one in there, really.
I think he was just putting it in the...
I just thought because of the pace on the ball, he should have hit it first time. That's what I thought.
And also you're catching the keeper there.
Yeah, exactly.
You thought he was some kind of hard man. Successful long balls 9, pass accuracy 83.
Successful long balls 6.
Sorry, what did I say? 9?
9.
Looking at upside down. It is. Recoveries 11, which is a big one as well.
Yeah. The last Ghana numbers. Ghana used to have 11, 12 recoveries a game. So he's up there with 11, pass accuracy 83%. That's more impressive than someone like Morgan Schneiderlin who's passing his sideways and it's safe, so he'll get 94. Tom playing so many forward passes, balls like we saw to Walcott, if you're hitting 80% with that, it means obviously it's getting to its target a lot. And I just think he's playing really well at the moment.
This is his chance now as well to play a successful amount of games.
The only way you're ever going to learn is by playing game.
Yeah.
You can't bring him in for 3 games, take him out, and expect him to continue that progression path. You've got to let him play. He's a young lad, wants to play, wants to be out there, and we need it. We need the energy when we are our midfield. The problem has been the midfield this season. It really has. It's still for me. It's still a huge issue.
Yeah.
It's a huge issue. I look at it and just go, it doesn't. No one complements each other. Even yesterday before Gomes' injury, him and Delph were poor. They were poor. The pair of them. Let's not. I wish. I've said before, right at the start, Andre Gomes is our best midfielder. When he's on his game, there's no one like him at the club. He's fantastic. He's one of the best in the Premier League. Sometimes, I don't know, we just haven't been able to get him to the level he was last season, so far this season. And now we're not going to see him. Delph is a bit in between at the moment. I'm just not sure. And it might be the makeup of the players he's got.
Let's just look at, let's talk about Iwobi. He's stuck on that left-hand side, and I just don't see, so what would you do now? Would you play Delph, Davis and Iwobi as the middle 3, and maybe on the left you could have Richarlison, possibly an opportunity for Anthony Gordon to come into the squad now. Because for me, I just thought we missed that drive yesterday through the middle of the park, someone to break the lines, which really we haven't had at all, have we, for a while, and Iwobi, we've seen glimpses of it. I just don't think there's any point playing him on the left-hand side.
He was never there, he was just always there.
He always wants to come inside, always. And
I was hoping when he played there yesterday, he had dragged the fullback inside to give Luca Dean the outside, but it was that congested in the middle
of the park
that it didn't get anywhere. So, but yeah, that'd be the 3 I'd go with. Delph's come off holding his hamstring, so I'm not convinced he's going to make it for Saturday anyway.
He's got muscle issues, hasn't he, before?
So if he doesn't make it, then obviously Morgan Schneiderlin plays, because that's who will play. Let's not kid ourselves. But if you then put Davis and Iwobi in with Schneiderlin, then he can stay where he stays, and it's not as much of an issue because you're getting the energy from the other 2. Do you know what I mean? I'd have Beningame in the squad as well, because
he probably will come into the squad as well.
He'd be one who I'd be looking now for potentially replacing Schneiderlin as the holding player, because I think he's got the ability. Whether it's the right time and experience, I don't know. Are we in too much of a sticky situation to risk him? I'm not sure, but we need that energy in midfield. If we haven't got the energy in the middle of the park, we may as well pack up, because everybody else has. And once we play Schneiderlin and Sigurdsson, it all goes slow and ponderous again. And we can't afford to do that. So for me, it would be Iwobi, Davis, and then one of Delph or Schneiderlin.
Do you think he'll take Richarlison from the number 9 position now?
Centre forward's an issue.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? The problem is that
I just don't feel like he trusts.
The problem is though that you're moving people. You're moving people around the houses. Yeah. And this is the problem with this manager: is that he's not prepared to say, "Well, it's 1 in, 1 out." He's more likely to go, "Well, I'll move you there, then I'll move you there, and I'll move you there." And it's like, no.
Well, what would you do with the front 3? If the midfield is as you've just said, so
the front 3, I'd have. For me at the moment, you've got to have Richarlison in there. I think you've got to have Walcott in there, because I think he's shown in the last few weeks that no matter what, his work rate is...
And going to Southampton as well.
His work rate is excellent. I just don't understand why he took him off in this game.
Yeah.
And it's who other that person is.
Who would you go with?
Well, I don't know. That's the point. But it's not my job to know, is it?
No, but that's what
it's not. Calvert-Lewin or Keane, innit?
But we're talking.
Tosin scored.
Tosin as well.
We're talking about combinations, aren't we? And it's whatever he feels better. You could put Dom in the centre and put Richarlison on the left, right? Richarlison can play anywhere. It doesn't really matter. You've got Dom up front, or you go with Keane up front, which he probably won't. And then, or you go with Cenk Tosun after he scored the goal. I still don't think he'll play Cenk Tosun. I still think he's one of those players that...
And in a 4-4-2.
In some games it might work. If you play him in a 4-4-2, it might work. Maybe with what's happened, he might need to go back to 4-4-2.
So if he's ballsy enough to do it away from home as well.
I don't know.
See, I think the defence, I'd leave that defence. As long as everyone's fit, that'd be my defence for a while now. Thought Holgate was brilliant. Okay.
I'm not sure why he showed his arse.
Being critical. It was a weird move. And with hindsight, maybe Yerry should have backed off instead of going to Son, because he knew that Sidibe was caught.
But that was just terrible by Iwobi.
Well, the thing with Iwobi is, there was I'd done a still thing for the tactic show that I haven't done, but I might do tomorrow. But when I stopped it, I should have put it in here actually, because it would have been a good time to show it. But the pass is to Gomes. That's on. Yeah. That's a forward pass. Gomes, there's a break between two players and Gomes is advanced. And if he plays that forward pass, we're on the attack and then Sidibe's in the right area. He plays it to Delph but miss-hits it, so it goes behind Delph. And then obviously Son picks it up. And what Mina's caught in two minds then, it's do I go and close the ball or do I retreat to the edge of the box and allow people to get round Son? And he goes to the ball, which means Son then Ali runs past Sidibe. So he could have probably done a bit better there, Gary. But Mason, once he's passed it beyond Mina's out the game. But Holgate's got to do better. Got to do better.
It's his body shape.
He's coming at it wrong and Ali skips past him. But that aside, and I accept it's a big point because we can see that the goal. And also, I wish Jordan Pickford had stopped guessing that the fella's going one way and putting all his weight on one foot and he can't recover. But apart from that, I thought Holgate and Mina were excellent. I thought Mason had a really good game.
Mina was outstanding, I thought.
Especially as he was hobbling about. But Holgate to me looked just calm.
And calm. Pace, he's got the pace, hasn't he? A couple of times they almost got in and he just stepped across and dealt with it, and he loves that little Cruyff, doesn't he?
But I definitely, we're going back to Iwobi, I think what we've got to do is, we've got to settle down and say, right, this is our back four, this is going to be the makeup of our midfield, and this is going to be the makeup of our front three. And that's it. So stop shifting players. And now, the irony is, he hasn't got the luxury now as many.
Well, Bernard's out for 6 weeks.
He's got to look at it and say, right, I'm playing Dom down the middle, with Richarlison down the left and Walcott down the right. If Dom's not playing, then it's Tosin or it's Keane. And if Richarlison's not playing on the left, it's this other person. I don't know who it would be. Anthony Gordon maybe. Or more likely Iwobi, because he'll go, well, hang on, I've got Sneijderlin, I've got Sigurdsson, I've got players through the middle. But whatever he does, he's got to start saying, this player plays here and this player plays there. And not go, well, when he's out, I'm going to just shift him over there, then I'm going to bring him in there.
But isn't the idea to have 3 interchanging forwards? Shouldn't that be the idea? Shouldn't your 3 strikers be Keane?
But he hasn't done it yet,
Keane, Richarlison and Walcott, or Keane, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, and let them swap. But I think you're right. I think he has to get certainly an 8 who are playing.
Because he did it from the Cardiff game last season, didn't he? He stayed with Dom for the rest of the season. Even if Dom had a bad game, he'd still be in the next week.
The only person who actually changed in that side was Sneijderlin for Gomes. When he wanted, when Gomes got sent off. No, he's got to get a team, and he's actually got less players to work with now, which might suit him. I don't know. It's not nice, but it might. You never know. And get a template, because that's all other teams do. That's all teams like Sheffield United and teams like Crystal Palace, who are obviously in the top half of the table and are getting decent results. That's all they do. They don't have squads to pick from. They don't have all these players that they've bought to choose from. They've got solid players. They play them every week. They know their jobs.
And they get results.
That's what Leicester have done.
That's what Leicester
have done. Leicester have bought good players in key areas, and other players are just you always need. Again, this was like, you're going to go back to
Vardy, though, haven't
No, that's what I'm saying. I was just what I'm about to say is that you have your sprinklings, but everyone else knows how to. That's what Liverpool do. Half the team's just workmen, but then they've got the sprinkling on top. We've got to get 8 players who are fixtures and just work hard and are 7 out of 10s. And then you can almost go, well, was Richarlison? Richarlison, he's almost like one of those players. And then everyone else just maybe you can have a little think about it. But
see, what I would say in Silva's defence is that he's lost key players, hasn't he?
Yeah. He has.
We've lost the 2 midfield players he wanted as his 2. One's out for the season now. The other one won't be back till the end of January. If you took Ndidi and Tielemans out of Leicester, they wouldn't be where they are, or whatever. But that's by the by. But what I'm saying is, so he hasn't had that little bit of luck. Obviously, Delph's been it, Bernard's out now. So he's had things go against him. But what he's got to do is go, right, things are going against us at the minute. We're having VAR decisions that have cost us big points already this season. But what can I affect? All he can affect is the team. And the more, listen, we grow up because we're already grown, but for a long period of time, and our most stable period of time under David Moyes, you could pick that 8 of that team easily, 9 even, most weeks.
Yeah.
And yet that team was, in general, 90% of the time in the top 6 or 7, because there was 8 or 9 of those players you knew were playing, and he might mix 1 or 2 depending on injuries or form. Marco Silva has got to do that for himself. Now, will he be the manager next weekend? We don't know. If they get beat by Southampton, I've defended them, but I don't see how he can stay, to be honest. We'll have played 12 games and have 11 points if we lost to Southampton. Totally pathetic from anyone. But we might go to Southampton and get the win, and then, like you've said, then, Ped, all of a sudden it's, hang on, we've won 2. We've won 3, we've drawn 1, lost 1 of the last 5. There's a little bit of a resurgence coming here. And he can help himself by going, right, me back 5 and me back 5 that played against Spurs, all being well, everyone's fit. That's sound. Midfield, make the choice, Delph or Schneiderlin. Don't put the 2 of them in there because it's nonsense. So make the decision. He might go with Delph, Schneiderlin and Davis for Southampton, and Iwobi still on the left. But I think you're right where you said, get him in midfield, get him breaking forward, especially against someone like Southampton. Have energy in there and have one of them sitting, whether it's Delph or Schneiderlin, make the decision. Then say, like, Richarlison's my mainstay up front, which he always will be. He's the goal threat, he'll play there. And then say, right, I'm going with Dom. Dom's back in, and we're going to have Theo. Or we go with Moyes Keane, and we go, well, let's play Keane with the midfield that actually runs. And let's get Richarlison off the left and Walcott off the right. And let's see if that helps Moyes Keane through the middle. I don't think he will. I think he's more likely to go with Dom. But if you get, so that when we play Norwich at home, we can go, well, the team's basically going to be this team. The one that won at Southampton the other week. That's going to be the team. And then when we go to, Liverpool or whatever, well, the team's probably going to be this, because this is what's been doing all right of late. And he might make one change in that front 3, because he might think that might suit it. And if you start doing that, players then start going, well, I can play Tom Davis. I can throw that forward ball in behind the full-back because I know Walcott's got the legs to get on it. Or Richarlison. Iwobi, I know that Tom's going to give it me in these areas to attack. Luca Dean, I know that Richarlison's going to offer himself down the left for me. So at the moment, it might just be that players are looking up and going, like, where's, and that's why you're seeing a woe. I'm not defending him, it was a terrible ball. But he's used to being, the last couple of games, he's been central. And then again, he's on the left and he's cutting back in. Or, we're seeing...
Footballers are very instinctive. They do things off the cuff, expecting... They work all week on shape and patterns, and they expect people to be in certain places. Players get walked through situations where they're expected to be.
It's like Sidderby. Someone will look at that goal yesterday and go, Sidderby's fault because he's right up the pitch. Well, we want him to be high up the pitch. That's what we're encouraging. So when someone gives you the poor ball and it breaks down, you look like it's your, you should be further back. But if you're thinking, we're going this way, Iwobi to Gomes and Gomes turns, Sidderby's on his own round the back. So it's all of that instinctiveness, you're right.
That's where, on that goal, that's where, you're right, because that's where you want your centre-half, whether it be Mina or Holgate, to just hold Dele Alli up. To allow other people to come back, whereas both of them actually go too quickly to try and win the ball. You jockey them, you keep them there, you don't...
Carsley should be brilliant at it. We back off. Sometimes you do me head in because you back off from the halfway line. But you back off so that it allows other players to get round you before you go and block the ball, where Mina probably thought, I need to try and cut this pass out, and he's out of position and then makes him. But like you said before, if you're talking about the positives, the one thing we did do is we kept going, and we seen with the goal, great ball by Mina, patience, great ball by Mina. A lovely ball by Dean straight in. And at the time, I actually thought Dom had headed it. The way they come together, I thought it was Dom, but Sosen just gets in. It's a great header. And, fair play to them.
At least they were both in there.
And the one thing about it is when Mina plays the crossfield ball, again, probably should have threw this in. Mina plays the crossfield ball, we've actually got 6 players against 4. Spurs are doing what Everton normally do, which is letting people run in behind them. And as Dean throws it in, they're outnumbered, which hence why we've scored the goal. And We don't do that enough. We don't overload the box.
No, we don't want to take chances because we don't want to.
We'd had chances. Dom should have scored with the header, the far post.
What about the one that there's one on the right hand side that I think City just needed to put in. And they nearly broke down the other end of the pitch.
It was literally the last kick of the game.
It's like, just throw a ball in the box, lad.
We'd worked the ball brilliantly, and if he just throws it in, it's an attempt at goal, and he turned all the way back, and we slipped, they broke, and then luckily the referee blew.
Right, let's talk about this tit. Atkinson. Weird people would name Atkinson, always dickheads, aren't they? Except for Rowan.
Gemma.
And Gemma. Okay, maybe I'm just thinking of one person.
Him.
And another.
Ron. Big Ron. Anyway, let's not...
This was just, like, this game was like the worst example I've ever seen of VAR yesterday. Number one, this referee is shite. Absolutely shite. Needs to be binned. Like, he did the VAR on Saturday, I think, for Liverpool's game and got something completely wrong. And then works Ovies on the Sunday in a Premier League game and gets something completely wrong. After last Sunday working on the Arsenal game and getting something completely wrong. And then the VAR got it completely wrong. It's just a massive load of shite. You know, we sat here all last season talking about VAR, wanting VAR in the summer. We were looking forward to it. And the way they've implemented it is just beyond belief. It's just awful. And yesterday there must have been more VAR decisions made than I think we've seen put all together this season at Goodison Park. Every little thing just seemed to be VAR check. There was a red card check.
It was worse because it was on Sky. Do you think they've done more of it?
I just think they've done more because of the last couple of weeks.
But they had a meeting. Lampard was talking. They had a meeting on Thursday with the managers. And they said they're not going to a week later, we're not going to overturn anything. Now, the week after before, hadn't said we are going to. And then they give Watford a penalty that wasn't on Saturday night, despite saying it. So, and then Sunday we see this nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Well, the funniest one was Walcott getting checked for a red card, which didn't even look a foul.
Wasn't even a yellow card.
And he got booked for
it. Got booked for controlling the ball and coming inside.
You had
sun diving.
It was a clear dive, so why isn't it a yellow card? It's a clear dive, and the VAR checked the VAR as well, because at the last minute apparently they said, "Oh, we've got another angle."
It was a different angle.
And this is pathetic. How pathetic's that? Why haven't they got every single angle? Then we had the handball, which is a clear handball that we waited 3.5 minutes for, that nobody in the ground knew what they were checking for. And the mad thing was, like, we were all like, oh, what are they checking? Oh, load of nonsense. We all knew it wasn't going to be given. And yet, you imagine if they had shown that on the screen, we would have all been... There would have been bedlam, wouldn't it? And maybe that's why they don't show it.
Yeah.
There would have been absolute bedlam. And then, after the game, or apparently NBC had an angle, the one from behind, where you can see that he flicks it off with his hand. And apparently the VAR didn't have that angle. What the hell is going on?
Well, was the Richarlison one as well?
The Richarlison one.
The penalty by Davison Sanchez, I think it is.
Clear penalty.
Takes him, doesn't get near the ball.
Goes around the outside, takes him down, and it's a clear penalty. But because referees referee on emotion and the referee on just utter nonsense, he doesn't give him it, because Richarlison has threw himself down a few times, and I understand that, and that's something Richarlison's got to cut out of his game.
But
and the
that shouldn't stop.
No, it shouldn't. I know it shouldn't. That's what I'm saying. You're refereeing on emotion then, not on facts. That's the whole point of VAR. The VAR checks it and doesn't give a pen. So not only does the ref not give it, the VAR says that it wasn't a clear and obvious.
And then what about the one when Richarlison takes it off Sanchez at the end and he just boots him and it checks for a red card and then says no, even though it clearly shows him kicking Richarlison when he's through on goal.
The whole thing.
The thing is, well, in the summer as well, I was speaking to people who were like totally against VAR, and they watched the World Cup and they were like, brilliant, this isn't going to affect the game. And then we're the only league who can fuck something up, basically. And we're doing it. And you know what? It's the paying public who are getting shafted. Because we're sitting like yesterday, I'm sitting there, I'm going, what is going on here for this day? But the thing that I thought is that, how's it took so long for them to say it's not a penalty? If it was for if it was that long, surely there's a doubt.
They looked at it 15,
surely there's a doubt there that they're not sure.
They find an angle. They knew it was handball. What they were looking for the handball, what they were looking for. No, this is what they were looking for. They knew it was a handball. What they were looking for was a reason not to give it.
That's
and they found one. They were looking for a reason for them not to give that handball. Because essentially, do it. And what was mad about this one? The ref didn't see it. So this is a brilliant use of VAR if it's given. The ref doesn't see it. So you're not going against the ref. So they were looking for a reason not to give it, and they found one. They found that Mina may have lent on him. Therefore, the lad, this is what they said. This is the reason why they give it. But that's not actually in the rules, though. That's not in the rules. If you handball it, it doesn't matter what happens. If you handball it, it should be, if your arm is in a position, his arm never moved him up there at any time, no matter whether Mina went in for him or not. So it's a penalty. It's as simple as that. It's a penalty. And this is what, when you're saying why they're taking 3.5 minutes, because they're looking for a reason. They're looking for a reason not to give it.
You can tell within 30 seconds if it is or it isn't.
I'm in the ground on my phone trying to find out why it is, and it's like, penalty. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. That's handball. That's a penalty. All on my Twitter. And yeah, I'm in the ground and I'm still waiting to find. And
I knew it was never ever going to be given.
Like, I know you're right there. All it would take is a big screen, on the big screen, showing what's happening as the ref sees it, and him talking, and that's all it would take.
Do that in rugby.
Exactly.
Well, why didn't he go over and look at it?
But that's what I mean. It would have took last time.
Hang on. Well,
but the FA said they were going to start doing
me this.
The screen was there.
Where is the screen?
Well, it's below me.
Is that where it is?
Well, that's where it normally is.
Isn't it by the tunnel?
No, it's over and it's under me. And it's just there at the side. And apparently on one of the things, they highlighted the screen on one of the things. It must have been the NBC feed. They went, there's the screen, why hasn't he gone over? I told it to Jim Beglin and the commentator saw them after it, and he were like, there was 15 different replays, it was a penalty, everyone's seen it. And he said, so was the Sanchez one, it was stone wall, there's no reason. They couldn't come up with a reason not to give it. And
I thought they were going to disallow our goal as well. The linesman was on the pitch, and the ref was just stood like that, and I'm thinking, don't you disallow, because this place will rip you apart if you disallow this goal.
But that's last week the FA is saying we're going to get them to start looking at the screen,
and they don't.
And they didn't. They had 3 opportunities to look at the screen.
We mentioned it last week, and we mentioned it again this week. Keys and Gray, if you watch there, they're the only ones basically. I know Match of Day 2 was good. Mark Chapman did rip it a bit. Like he is good.
Shearer and Wright said it was penalties. Both of them said 2 Stonewall penalties.
He ripped it a bit, and what needs to happen is though, someone needs to have in this country do like a special on it and actually start asking questions. Why are these people getting away with making these decisions? Why are those people in the box getting away with making these decisions?
When it happens to Liverpool. When they lose a game off it, that's when.
Well, we'll see it this week. City play Liverpool this week, don't they? Yeah. So if something contentious happens, we'll see it then. But it's the fact that they're just getting away with it. As I say, Keys and Gray was, again, saying that game, all the major decisions have been given by the fella in the VAR studio, not the ref. Yeah. So it hasn't been, I think you need to check that, because that one looks a bit dodgy from where I'm sitting. Go and check it for me. It's that fella's refereed it. He's refereed it. So the people in the box are refereeing the game. And I know, listen, we sat here and we said, we want a bit of that. We want a bit of that. But what we wanted is, you just missed a foul there. There's a foul. You mustn't have seen it behind you. There was a foul. Someone pushed me in the back. And they go, oh, was there? Yeah, nice one for that. Blah, blah. Like a linesman would do. Linesman might see a pull on a shirt or something and go, like, give it. And the ref goes, what happened? He went, we had hold of his shirt. Oh, Sean, that's a penalty then. No. Oh, I seen that incident. But he's seen it differently. It should be, I seen that incident. I seen it differently. You better go and have a little look at it. Especially when it's a penalty. Yeah.
What makes a mockery of it is, for years, forever, since time began, a referee's had one look at something and given the decision. So if he'd have been looking at Atkinson yesterday and he sees Ali handle it, he just goes, penalty to Everton. Right? Now, what they're doing is, they're looking at it 15 different ways to not give it. Yeah. So why is the game changed so much? So that they don't give it, when referees give decisions immediately, and I've given it since time began.
This goes back to what we were saying last week about there's no, number one, the referees are terrible. Yeah. I mean, they're just terrible. I mean, this fella is the worst. Last week, he can't wait to book Zaha for a dive, and this week books Son, and yet both, and then
he didn't book Son.
Who?
Oh, for the tackle.
Yeah, for the tackle. For the dive. No, what I'm saying is he books Son, and then overturns his own booking. And last week had to have the VAR overturn a booking and then give a penalty. He's terrible. And yet he's supposed to be the best one. He's fucking garbage.
Hang on, mate. This fella should never have been allowed near Everton after the Jack Rodwell.
No, I know, but that's not.
No, but we've had.
Hang on, he shouldn't be allowed near football.
No, I know, but I'm talking from us. We've had history with him. Yeah, the Rodwell thing was horrendous. I remember he booked Fellini, so we missed the derby at home to just after Chris Hull. There was nothing in it. He put his foot, flicked it, the lad put his head down. He was like that, falling, trying to get his card out.
He couldn't wait to blow the whistle yesterday.
Raheem Sterling, who was sat in the Man City fans in the semi-final and then carried on with the ball, and it knocked us out. The goal, that was 4 yards out, that was this brick.
Yeah.
We've had history with him forever. Well, derbies, other derbies since. He's an absolute disgrace.
We didn't have any refs at the last World Cup, did we?
No.
No.
And that just says it. And yeah, we're carrying on with the same referees. Yeah. We're carrying on. And what makes this is what makes an absolute mockery. I didn't know this till it was on Match of the Day.
Andy Taylor was on VAR, wasn't he?
The fact that he did a game on Saturday on VAR and then does a game on Sunday on the pitch. That to me is just, it doesn't for some reason it just doesn't make sense. That
all your efforts have been used in one game. You should be off then. You
should, for me, as far as I'm concerned now, have a completely separate entity doing the VAR who are trained to be I said this last week, you could train a rugby ref up to do it.
Get them all in.
Get trained. You could go to the bleeding job centre and train someone up and say, this is your job. You're not a ref. You don't ref games on the pitch. You ref on video. It's your job. You look at a game completely a different way. And you could grab them now when they're coming through and go, I don't know, and grab half of them and when they're young and go, do you want to be ref? Ex-players train to VAR refs. Train to be VAR refs. Because I think Kale said and Sahar said on Sky, you need somebody in there who understands football, and they don't. So I'd grab like a load of players in League 2 and League 1 when they're retiring, and they probably haven't got the money to go into someone and go, do you want to be VAR refs? On a Saturday and Sunday, you'll sit in a box, you'll cover the Premier League, we'll train you all up. You might need to do like a year, maybe on a pitch somewhere, but you'll be a VAR ref. That's going to be it's not a ref, it's a VAR. It's a completely separate thing. Because then you know how football works. You're impartial and you can give these decisions. Because these jokers doing Saturday and Sundays, do me a favour.
To me, Mason was back in charge of a game at the weekend. He should never have been near a football game.
Of course, there's no accountability. That's why. There's no.
But look, it tells you everything. Look who's in charge of them all. Yeah. Riley. Look how bad he was. He was one of the worst referees I've ever seen.
Apparently Gallagher said it was a penalty, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But Everton.
But that's the problem. It's an old boys club. Yeah. It's an old boys club. That's all. They're all going to look after each other.
Never
they're not
going to
fall out with each other, are they? No. They're all going to back each other up, and that's what makes a mockery of VAR. Is that this fella's going to go, oh, hang on. Well, he was on the pitch yesterday and he got that one wrong. He's on the VAR yesterday. He got that wrong. Now he's on the pitch today. Hang on, he's my mate, I can't. Well, he's got a mortgage to pay, blah, blah, blah. That's the first thing you do, isn't it? You're thinking about your mate. Because don't forget, these fellas all train with each other in the summer and they all...
Yeah.
But
what I'm saying, Riley's getting away scot-free because he's the one putting these idiots in charge.
But there's no accountability for any of them.
That's what I mean.
Riley's not... They're not looking at the decision and going, you've had 3 this month and they're all wrong. You're off for a month and you're not getting paid. There's no accountability. If any of us went to work and did a really poor job, then
I'm not a big fan of him, but like Clattenburg, to be fair, I've read a few things he said this season. He's right with a lot of it. He's pulled no punches with a lot of the referees in the Premier League. Don't wrong, he weren't great himself, but
no. But that's him understanding that actually he'll probably get a work out of it. If you get a referee. This is what I don't get about Dermot Gallagher, is that, well, I do get it, why? But Dermot Gallagher went on a Monday on Sky and went, shocking that. But he's like, even when he says decisions are wrong, he goes, I can understand why. Yeah, it's not like, yes, that's why ex-players are laughing in the face. That's why ex-players are going, what are you talking about?
Like he said yesterday, I felt sorry for Martin.
Yeah.
I was like, how can you feel sorry for someone who's making mistake after mistake?
I said, mate.
That's just like I couldn't.
And then one week they're
saying, and
then one week they're saying that it's not handball if I bump into you and you've got your hand up. Yeah, if I bump into you the week before and I stand on your toe, that's a penalty. So how can contact for one thing be a penalty and contact for another
Well,
not
his
be?
booked Sahar last week for diving and Son's dived. So why isn't he booked him? There's no this is what we're saying.
And he booked him last week by using his eyes. This week a fella watched it 27 times and said it's not a penalty, he dived. Because if he doesn't dive, then it is a penalty. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Mina falls over. Mina's not in control there. And it's why the lad got sent off for Newcastle last week. It's because he's not in control. It's not a terrible tackle in its own, but because he's not in control, that's why he sent him off, right? So Mina, if Mina's touched him, then it's a penalty because Mina's not in control of his body. Yeah. And if he's brought him down, then it's a penalty. They've decided it's not a penalty because he hasn't touched him. Yeah. Therefore, Son has done the old VAR dive and popped himself up. Someone touches you, go down, you don't go up. I'll keep saying that. Gravity only works one way. Yeah, gravity only works one way, right? So it's a dive. So why isn't he being booked?
Also, he had a great view as well. He was right in live. And I noticed this morning, I was watching post about Sky Sports News this morning, and you watch him speaking to the finger, no chance. Yeah. To the VAR official, because you watched this, like, no chance. But
so why isn't he booked?
Why isn't he booked? And actually, if he's booked, then Son doesn't put a stupid tackle on Gomes because there's actual consequences then.
Yeah.
So this dickhead's got our player a broken leg, if you want to say it that way. No, but it is though. Again, it's cause and effect, isn't it? These things happen in the match that actually cause other things.
Well, you allow by allowing things, you allow other things to break.
Yeah. I actually feared for his safety yesterday, Atkinson.
If he disallowed, I'm not being funny. Tosin could have been 27 miles offside if he hadn't give that goal. Honestly.
Yeah, and it's gonna. And the thing is, in the ground, yes, it got to the point where fans are starting to actually give up on it all. Like there's people walking out because they just can't be arsed.
There's a fellow on the radio, I think he was on Talk Sport, and he said, "I've been an Evertonian for blah blah." And he went, that atmosphere in that ground yesterday was just, I had to go. He said I couldn't. Maybe he's got, I don't know, but he just went, I couldn't sit in that ground. He said it was just the worst place to be. And it was horrible. It was a horrible place.
I swore more.
Me too, mate. I stayed. I never usually stay until the final.
Everything.
But it wasn't the fact that it was like I remember in the World Cup and another game, it was Portugal versus Iran, and it was every time someone was touched, the players were running over going VAR. Yeah. No one was doing that yesterday. But he had no control over the game. No. He had no control because he hadn't set himself any kind of bar. No. And this is what I'm saying. They're losing the game because they're not following the rules, and all that leads to is anarchy. Because I think we've said it loads of times. It's one of the things, and it still annoys me. And we've just been talking about they're not being put. We sat here and we were like, no, because now they've got a thing to show them that they're all getting things wrong. But you don't see people in the media, apart from, Keys and Gray, make a big deal out of it.
Because the favourite teams aren't getting punched.
Although Carragher laughed in Sahar's face yesterday. Laughed in his face over someone. Sahar was saying it was a penalty. And Carragher was going, what are you talking about? He called him on his knee. He's like, what are you talking about? There's a camera there that shows he doesn't. And Carragher, so Sahar just starts talking and Carragher just starts laughing and going, what are you talking about?
Kale agreed with him as well.
But that's the thing, they were like, oh yeah, in real time.
Kale did. Yeah, Kale thought it was a penalty.
Yeah, that's
the problem, but Carragher's like, and Carragher then goes, I want a VAR. And I was at a thing in the summer where we were both agreeing on it and Neville was like, no, I'm not having this. And me and Carragher, we were all on the same page. It was that idea of, we thought referees would be accountable because now everyone can see. But what happens is, by the time Monday comes, everyone forgets about it. And then we go to the next week, and we go to the next week, and we go to the next week. And there's no accountability for it.
No one's going to highlight it, are they? Because until it happens to Liverpool or United,
it was on Talk Sport.
That's the only time it'll ever get.
And Everton run Talk Sport, and he was talking about it. And then it went a bit quiet. And when it come back from being quiet, Danny Kelly was like, no, I don't agree with that. It's nothing to do with the broadcasters. And basically, the guy rung up and said, this is just to suit TV. The whole thing's a mess. And it's because of TV, the whole thing. The broadcasters, he said, and they actually cut him off. They cut the bit off. They pressed the dump button. So, because he was saying, this is to suit the broadcasters, this. And they pressed the dump button on him. So you can't even actually say on it.
You're not going to be able to.
So
The Premier League are probably loving it. Everyone's talking about the Premier League because of it basically a shit show it is, basically.
But they won't be though, will you? And that ultimately be the only thing, the only saving grace is that people are getting to the point now of going,
so.
this is not fair anymore. It's not fair.
It's 11 weeks of this, Ped.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. We're building up. Listen, managers, Lampard came out. It'd be interesting to see if anything happens this weekend. City, Liverpool, the crown jewel of the Premier League at the moment. If anything happens in that game, it'll be interesting.
Think it'll take something happening.
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't know how it happened because I don't think they've got the arse to give things against Liverpool.
But what was bad about yesterday, and I think this is what the fella was referencing on the radio, was this created a toxic atmosphere that could have easily have boiled over. It could have easily have boiled over. It only takes one person to do something stupid and run on a pitch and lamp up.
I said this before,
and it could happen because we've seen incidents of stuff before. It only takes one thing, and the fans aren't necessarily going mad with the incidents happening at the pitch. They're going mad because the referee now has got everything he needs to do to ref the game 100%, and yet are still falling massively. You should not be coming out of a game going, we should have had 2 Stonewall penalties today.
No,
it's VAR.
It's done.
It's VAR.
Don't come out of a game now going, that ball was a foot over the line, do you? Because it just goes like that. Yeah, we know it's right. If his arm doesn't buzz, it hasn't crossed the line.
Exactly.
And we all accept it. There's
it's
no
embarrassing.
argument.
It's just embarrassing.
But then, looking at you should look at a monitor, a replay 3 times and be able to make the decision. If you have to look at it more than 3 times to get the decision, then it's not. If I had to look at something 3 times to go, did that at Dele Alli's hand? If I can't tell on the 3rd time, then it's not a penalty. Yeah. That's the way I'd do it. If I have to look at something 4 for 4 minutes, 15 different angles or replays to determine it isn't a penalty, then that's nonsense. That means I've seen it is, and I'm trying to get myself out of it, and that's not right. You should look and go, has that hit his hand? Yeah. Forget everything else that's around it, unless Mina goes with 2 hands in his back, which he doesn't. He's jumping as normal.
The question should have been, did Mina foul Dele Alli? And if he's fouled Dele Alli,
then it's a free kick.
It's
not a corner.
But if he's not fouled him, then it's handball. Because there's no in between. There's no in between. We've seen it before where it hits people's hands and then it's when they've gone, but he pushed them and it meant to. But that's fine. Did he foul him? No, he didn't. No. It's a penalty. And that's the bottom of it. And we should be privy to that conversation as well. And what we've said this loads of times, what the Premier League have done is gone from 0 to 10 in one go, and they haven't gone 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you've got to go through the steps to get to the absolute polished thing. But what they've done is jumped, and what they're going to have to do now is go all the way back and start again. But now they haven't got the public on the side, and all the people, even the people who are like us, who were like we've all bang up for it, and all the people in the media who are like pushing it on, this is great, are like, this is a shit show.
Carragher said it, didn't he?
We might as well just go back.
Today saying scrap it.
We might as well just go back to what we had, because at least then it was human.
It was human.
It was human. You'd fume about it for the weekend, and then you go, but that's life.
Well, you couldn't do nothing about it.
What's I mean with the Mina one? I just don't understand. The FA have come out and said because of the pressure that Mina was putting on Ali.
That's nonsense.
He was whispering in his ear going, I've got videos about you.
But the thing is, the army's putting the pressure on. He's on board with a different arm.
It doesn't matter.
With a different arm.
You can't start breaking everything down, because then you do that for everything. Yeah. If you're running, what about the one where the lad just goes and smacks the Charlison into the sand? He said it was a shoulder challenge. Well, if that was the other way and the fella fell over and Charlison ran through with the blew his whistle. Right, you're looking now with these VAR things, are looking for every little minute detail. Well, that detail doesn't get applied anywhere else on the pitch for a free kick. What if I'm running, you shove me in the back and I handle it? If he doesn't see you shove me in the back, he don't go over it and over, he just gives a free kick. Doesn't he? He doesn't look at it 15 times and go, hang on, Steve, the pressure you applied then made Barry fall over and on ball. He just go, it's a free kick.
The thing is, if they don't sort it out as well, it's gonna put people off the game.
Well, that's the other side of it, isn't it?
Mate, that's people walking out halfway through.
This is what makes you laugh. This is what makes you laugh. They brought it in to try and make the game better.
Fairer.
And it's not. and it will just turn people off. And
Yes.
and the first people it'll turn off are the people who go the match.
Yeah.
The match going people.
It's for the
That's what I
telly,
say
it's
to you
not for us.
before. I said, it's getting to the point where I'm even thinking about if it carries on this, it's just sacking it off.
But the point
honestly.
being with the telly is,
that, mate,
thing
the
with the
whole
telly is, right, it's for the telly. But even on the telly, you don't know what's going on. Because you're not,
all
if they went to like,
Like, but it says though, it's
No,
a
I'm
VAR
saying-
check. We didn't know it,
but
because
they,
we're sat in the ground.
but they might go, oh, I understand it's for this. But they're still not going through the process. And that's what I'm saying. If they had the video of it going through the process, and it might start, that could start like it does in the rugby league, where it's just at the games that are on Sky, you know, and you get that. But know why they won't do that though? Simple reason. It's because Anfield and Old Trafford don't have big screens. And that's why. That's why they won't have it. So it's
But it's just sucking the life out the game, innit?
Yeah.
It is. Like you said there, well, I don't think it gets as toxic if we know what's going on.
yeah, of course.
Of course, if
If you're part of
No, but it
I'm sitting there for 6 minutes going, what is he actually checking here?
the whole
What's he
thing
checking?
about it is,
And I realised mate's message,
you
checking our
need
ball.
to look at that. If you look at something like that and you still don't get the decision when it's blatant, then it is sucking the life out.
What I would
What's
say
the
is-
point?
What
What's
is
the
it?
point? If you can't get penalties that are penalties because it's Everton, what's the point? We got one, and you know what? If you didn't get them against you, either you could then go, well,
Yeah.
we don't get them against us when it should have been. Last week, we were literally robbed at Brighton. The same game, Richarlison's dragged down, no penalty. A lad accidentally stands on the other one, penalty. This week, 2 Stomo penalties not given. So what else can you think other than it's corrupt? What else is there? No one from the FA could sit here with me now and go, well, Everton didn't get... I can name 6 or 7 already this season that we've had given against us that shouldn't have stood. Like the Callum Wilson goal at Bournemouth, first phase of play, we go behind. No one from the FA could sit here and justify any of them to me, and that's wrong. He couldn't go, yeah, Barry, but... There's no way he could, because they're all blatantly obvious.
ultimately,
If it had happened to Liverpool or Manchester United, I guarantee you now it would never happen again.
ultimately, what I would say about it is that it's still Martin Atkinson. It's still the same
He's
people.
just pathetic.
It's the same people
He's
year in,
pathetic.
year out.
Getting away
with
and
it.
don't have to come out and give an interview. That's another thing. How can our manager 6 days after it wasn't it 6 days after a goal was ruled out for no reason at home against West Ham, Yerry Mina's header, be sat in front of the press and say, I still don't know why he disallowed it. The referee wouldn't tell me. How can a referee not tell you why he's disallowed something? If I was Silver, mate, I'd be at half time yesterday or full time, I'd have to monitor as he's walking down a tunnel. I'd be like, what the fucking hell's this? What are you chabby in? I don't care.
But that's
Give
another
me all the
problem,
FA
isn't it?
charges
That's
you want.
another
What are they
problem.
going to do?
That's
They're
another
pathetic.
problem, though, isn't it? The manager comes out
Oh, is it?
afterwards.
Yeah.
There's nothing. You don't get anything from him, and there's not. The club aren't kicking off about it. It's
No.
just it's allowed to just happen.
Like I remember, I'm not saying we should go down this route, but remember when Bielsa come out last year and done that whole... That Everton should call a press conference, right?
Rafa's done it.
Oh, no, but he should.
Mourinho's done it.
You know what? If we had someone
Klopp,
strong
he'd
in
do
charge, he would do.
He'd do it.
Yeah, of course.
Remember this press conference after
He's
Calvert-Lewin?
refusing to play a game.
Yeah.
They're refusing to play a football
Yeah, yeah.
game.
When
If they don't get their own way.
Calvert-Lewin went
People will
over
get
in the
their own
box.
way.
Well, of course they'll get their
They'll
own.
get their own way. So, I know it sounds sad. Call the press conference, show all these decisions and say, FA, it's over to you.
They were weak as piss. This is the problem. Starts at the top and goes all the way through the club. It's the same thing I've got with Coleman going in, and it might sound great and it might be the right thing to do, but from a football club point, it just says everything about Everton Football Club, that we've got a lad in hospital now who's out for a year, and yet all the sentiment is with
No, but
son.
that, forget-
No, I know, but this is the problem with Everton Football.
What I'm talking about is this.
It's the whole thing,
This
no.
thing, no.
It's the whole,
needs
but
to
it's
be
the whole
highlighted,
thing,
because
no.
it's every single week. We've had it done to us. Every week already, the season's...
But it's all
2 months
part.
old.
It's all part of the same thing. No, the club never ever want to, get involved with anything nasty. They don't want to do the things that you're supposed to do. Do you think any strong manager would have come out after the game? Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if you had a manager like Mourinho and that happened. They would have pointed the finger at the referee and said, "Do you know if you'd booked him for when he died, that would never have happened. I wouldn't have a player in hospital now." Managers do things. Top managers do things like that. They say things like that. They make people think about the consequences. If you'd booked Son, that would never have happened. And everyone goes, oh, hang on, yeah, he's got a point there. some would never have run in if he got booked for actually diving, or they would have come in and go, no, last week when you booked that fella for diving, how come you didn't do it this week? I mean, you got it wrong, and VAR told you, but VAR told you this week you got it wrong. Strong manager does that. A strong manager or someone at the club comes out and says that and makes a point of it. You know, look at Wenger when Andy Johnson, he dives there. Yeah. We played him, doesn't get a pen, do we?
You get snapped early on.
Exactly, never got a pen. It's happened loads of times.
It took Moyes to end up to go to the officials.
And go, we're being cheated here. You've got to put it on their toes.
And I think they had a few weeks of getting penalties.
The media, what in the media do all week? They're scrambling around looking for stories. Yeah. That's what Mourinho's amazing at. If you give them a story, they'll go, oh, I like that. That's why they loved Mourinho till Mourinho started saying. That's why they loved Klopp from day one. He's a story. He gives them stories. The media sit there going, right, we need something to do. The news, they need something to do. If you put that on their toes, they'll get stories out of it. They could get a week out of Everton from us saying stuff. The manager, if the referee had control there, that wouldn't have happened.
Well, not even that.
We just accepted it.
The VAR thing is the problem for me. Forget Son's done, but the penalties are the problem. The game-changing decisions. They could cost a manager his job. So I don't understand why he's not fighting this corner. I'd be saying, right, this has happened. This has happened. I want answers.
Use the word.
You get a fine. So what? Yeah. What are they going to do?
Who cares?
What are they going to do? Oh, we're going to make you sit in the stand for 2. Are you? Well, it just shows you how corrupt you actually are.
I'll be sitting in a villa in Portugal in 2 weeks.
But thanks to you. So that's the thing. You put it on their toes. You embarrassed them.
If I was Silva, I'd go into a press conference this week and go, the West Ham game, the one where Sidibé was kicked out the ground, and the one on Mina.
He's got nothing to lose.
There? He's got Brighton, someone gets stood on the toe, and then you go find another example of it happening. Silva, and you forget it.
That was given because they didn't give a penalty to Man City against Bournemouth.
But so you show
we were punished for that.
So you show that, and then you show something else, and you keep on showing examples and examples and examples and examples, and you go, I'm going to be out of a job because of this, right? And
I'll tell you what, right, if he did that though,
no.
But I'm just saying, if he did that, watch everyone's perception of him change straight away.
Well, he'd have the fans on his side.
Like, look at him fighting our corner.
Fighting our corner, fighting his corner, fighting his players' corner.
He come out yesterday and said, oh, they have a very tough job. I'm
they don't have a tough job.
They've got a camera in the fucking studio.
130 grand a year.
Like,
they get expenses. They ponce around the pitch, doing whatever. They get every mistake. They make mistake after mistake.
They've got
nothing ever happens to them. And it's a
come on, start using words like the cheaters. You know what, they'll start listening then, because cheat, can't get called cheat.
Say cheat. You can call, you know what, no, I'm saying you can say anything to the referee's face, but you call him a cheat, you've crossed the line.
But as I say, the FA see that Premier League say, oh shit, we're getting called cheats here.
But they are,
but they are, I'm saying.
No, this is what you do, genuinely, Steve, this is what you do. You go on a press conference and you go, the Premier League is a joke. Because as soon as you use that word Premier League, I mean, they probably do you for trademark for a start. But the minute you question the honesty of the Premier League as a product, as in something you can sell to people, then you watch it all and thought, he's just called the Premier League. He's just said the Premier League's not fair, and it's because this club's getting this decision. The minute you start questioning it, you watch how quickly. You watch how quickly.
He should be saying, why would anyone spend so much money buying the rights to
like
this when it's fixed? That's what I'd say.
Well, next time we got Martin Atkinson, Everton, we're refusing to play.
Yeah, we're not having it.
Refusing to play.
You walked the
everyone else seems to be okay to just do it.
Yeah. Imagine you walked the press conference this week and went, you're looking forward to this game. You go, no, because I think the result's already been determined because of the referee. But you said that. It would just be like Stone Cold Steve Austin, glass break, telling you, man.
But we won't do that, will we?
That's what it needs, though. Not saying Silva, but that's what it needs. It needs someone to come out and go, what's the point? It's all the Premier League's nonsense now because this is what you have made of it.
This morning, Everton should be Everton this morning should have made a complaint straight away, but they won't.
Anyway, we were all like calm and miserable at the beginning. Now we're all fuming and want to fight.
Well, that says it all. Not about the game, about VAR and the referees, which basically says it all. Yeah, there you go.
Get your Uriah Rennie back.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Go back
joking.
far.
I'm joking. I'm joking. It was a joke.
Come on, end
It
it.
was a joke.
Referee with the first ref with a boot deal, for God's sake. You ever see him when he's doing the adverts?
Yeah.
4-4-2?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Come on.
Anyway, there you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. It was a very emotive game. So obviously you got a very emotive final word. Big thanks to Steve for coming in and joining us. As I said, leave your thoughts in the comments. What do you think the manager should do about VAR and how he addresses it going forward? Do you think he needs to be stronger? And do you think our players need to be stronger instead of giving big hugs to players who break our players' legs? Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you later.